as I become more and more of an internet personality and someone who just starts to share her story online, I am realizing that I am breaking down the walls that I have put up for myself over the last few years, and one of them is actually sharing my thoughts. And the timing of this is absolutely divine because I had just recently finished my journal. I have been writing in it for about a year and a half, and it's finally at its end. And I thought, what better way to celebrate opening a new notebook and opening a new story for myself. The sun. Whoa, the sun! The sun has decided to join us today, and my face is very oily. Do not judge me. Please be kind. Well, something unique that I want to share is that I love to write in very ancient-looking journals as opposed to the very public leather DIY journal. I have the utmost respect for everyone who writes in a leather journal. I think it's so cool that they customize it. However, my personal preference always leans towards the ancient and the magical. So I have here my newest journal, which I will be filling up. And it's so beautiful. Just look at the details. I like to pick these kinds of journals for myself because they resemble the kind of world I'm trying to build, and that is this fantasy main character energy sort of universe where I am always winning. I'm always experiencing something romantic, and I feel like that reflects very much in the journals that I choose. This was the last journal that I had, and this is the very first romantic journal I ever bought myself, and I feel like it's become sort of this ritual, sort of this tradition for me to only write in very antique looking things because I want my story to last as long as I want my story to last as long as these designs have lasted throughout time, in the sense that they are serving as inspirations for newer things and their legacy as artworks. And in terms of my life, I want it to last way longer than something that I would just DIY myself. So without further ado, let's journal together. The art of journaling is all about consistency, and to start with, I like to be consistent in the type of notebook I use, which is this more fantasy-esque style that reflects how I want to manifest and live my life. I also like to consistently choose lined paper just because I prefer not having to think about how I'm writing and just focus on how I'm feeling. And I really just love the way that they design the notebooks, like Peter Popper Press and Paper Blanks. Like, huge shout out to them because I have been writing in the journals ever since I have discovered them, which is great. And as for the writing utensil, I like to use my Pilot Juice Up pen in 0.3 in the color brown, just to make it feel more medieval and more ancient looking. So I really like that fine script and makes it easier for me to write faster, and also gives it that fine edge that I really love. I usually love to write in my journal as the sun sets or when the light hits my room just perfectly, because I find it sets that really moody vibe that I love, but not too moody that I'm always depressed. Like, I like to write by the sunlight just because it keeps me a bit more energized. And I also like to look at the sky and a bit of the view because it views my Lola's house, which is really nice also in and of itself. I also really love to make sure my room is clean, so I like to set up my space, try to declutter a little bit, but like let that light filter in naturally, turn off all the lights, and just let the sunshine swallow me up. I also really like to play some music, so sometimes I like to play rage music, other times show tunes, other times classical. So honestly, just find what works for you and find what matches your mood, and that's what really matters. It doesn't have to be aesthetic, it just has to reflect in your own spirit. Also, can we just take a moment to admire the design of these journals, guys? Peter Popper Press and Paper Blanks, once again. I always love to write a little bit of property of Udiopoline in the front, and as I am demonstrating here, I also love to tear off the first page, but in this journal, I am going to attempt to not do that because, I am changing, I am growing, and I kind of want to avoid that same mistake of not feeling perfect enough for a first entry. I think I put so much pressure on myself to write beautifully that I forget it's a journal. And as always, I put my return or you will be cursed warning at the front, and I draw a little swan. This is just part of my starting a journal ritual that I love to do. I put that little swirl at the end to seal the spell. and it just makes the journal feel more magical and more personal to me. For the first entry, I want to be able to show a little bit of a prompt for you guys instead of showing my emotions and my private life, because that's weird. So I'm going to be showing you guys a bit of manifestation techniques that I use. So I usually like to write down my dreams and my aspirations and kind of try and visualize where I will be in the next year as I write in this new journal. So in this one, I am dreaming of a future that's filled with art, loving friends and family, new places, new spaces, finding myself my own home, and continuing to love life and romanticizing it. So when starting a journal, I think it really fits the theme of manifesting to write positively, at least on the first page, because as we all know, journals are going to be filled with all kinds of emotions, but it's best to start on a positive note. So you can follow this prompt, or you can also follow some of the prompts that I'm showing here on screen. I'll flash a few also to kind of inspire you and get you on your journaling journey. If you've never journaled before, I know it may sound daunting to update every single day, but the reality of it is you're not going to be able to write every single day, and that's okay. I think it's better to write when you're feeling down, when you have that free space to really sit with yourself, when you're totally alone and unbothered, or even when you're in a crowded space in a cafe but still by yourself. I think it really helps to get all those feelings out, even if it means having to make a huge write-up, catching up in your journal. And again, it doesn't have to be an autobiography. Not everything has to be written down in your journal. What matters is that you are putting your feelings somewhere where you can keep them safe and sort of let them simmer without becoming negative feelings. Writing about my dreams always helps me kind of get my shit together, because sometimes there are days where the clouds just don't want to part for the sun, and I feel like not everything is going my way. And my journal has always become my safe space somehow. It has always been my safe space where I can write everything I feel, and instead of just wallowing in my sorrows, I also use my journal to plan and to list down everything I need. So even if I am not performing for a camera, I am still talking to myself. I'm still finding ways to live life. And again, at the end of the day, I am the luckiest girl in the world. I'm the luckiest living being in the world. And my journal is a manifestation and a reminder of how I live my lucky life and how it should reflect yours too. I'm basically just filling the very first page. Instead of tearing it off and being afraid, I am filling it with all these affirmations. I am unafraid of change. I am a lucky girl. My energy is magical. I am magnetic, and all these things, so that I can bring this energy that I want to manifest into my life through action and actually practicing it, not just writing and thinking. Since I usually do my journal rituals in the morning, I also like to throw in a little bit of a morning ritual on top of just journaling. So aside from writing in my journal, I like to set up my desk with a few beautiful things like my Vogue magazine for me to peruse, also an art book to study. My Lola's old fan is also out because it just reminds me of him because he passed away. And I also like to light a candle, do some gua sha, layer some scents on myself, and also have a good hojicha. I feel like people tend to overthink the morning ritual. It should just be full of your favorite things. And I also like to do my makeup, which I'm not showing here because I don't have time to film it. I feel like we take for granted these little moments where we can just sit by ourselves without a cell phone or any gadget or even any noise and just think for ourselves and to write how we feel, because in this very fast-paced world we live in, I think it's more important than ever to do that for yourself, to take a break, to just sit with your journal by yourself and dream. So, are you starting a new journey with me? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, much love. Bye!